Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. If you guys are new, please subscribe, post as much as possible. In this video, I'm just jumping in here. This is current time. It's May of 2022. This video was filmed back last June. It's been a really long time. I'm sorry about all the delay and everything like that. But in this video, I just want to first go over it real quick. This is just going to be an install video. If you haven't seen my last video of the unboxing and what to expect with some of the finishes on there before it got wrapped, you can watch that. It's my most previous video. This video is going to be the installation of the front wide body. I didn't get as much coverage as I thought I did. I guess some of it was either lost or I guess I just didn't film or something. But basically, to go over it, the kit fits pretty well. My car was in some kind of crash or fender bender at one point, not from me but I guess from a previous owner or in his previous life, on the front driver's side, US driver's side fender area. So that fender from big luxury part didn't fit as well as the passenger side fender, but besides that, everything fit really well. As you can see, a lot more footage can be in the next video of the rear installation, which was a little bit more complicated to remove the rear quarter panels as well as to attach the side skirts and such. So in regards to this, it'll just be the front fenders right now. You'll see the next video, part 2, and then I'll have an overview and everything like that. A couple people asked me a few questions. Overall, how is the fit? Overall, I can say the fit is pretty good. Definitely better than other fiberglass kits I've helped install on IS300s, my MR2, a lot of TSXs I've seen, a lot of fiberglass kits on 240s, stuff like that. It's definitely better than those. I would say the finish isn't perfect. It definitely has a lot of resin looking finish on it. It's not very level. It's kind of wavy and such. That's pretty common for fiberglass. Number one. Number two, the gaps in paneling gaps are not too bad. Definitely better than other companies. Not to bash on them, but I had a CL Performance kit before. That fit a lot worse. This kit's definitely a lot stronger and a lot better made. And then number three, everyone was saying, how is the weight compared to stock panels? I know the weight of the stock panels with the fender flares, which I had cut the stock panels and done that. I know that this kit is around the same weight as that. Compared to a stock body car, it would probably be around the same weight or maybe a little bit heavier, especially on the bumpers. But because I have basically a hollow carbon fiber hood in the front, and I don't have basically most of the interior and such except for the front because of my hard dog roll bar, some weight is saved there. So besides that, I would say the weight's around the same or maybe a tiny bit heavier because the bumpers are pretty heavy. If you do get the full Monocraft kit, such as the hood and the rear engine lid, that might be heavier, but in regards to the fenders themselves, they aren't too heavy. So besides that, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Reverse time a year ago. This is my 2000 K24 swapped turbo MR2 Spyder. Getting a lot of great support on it. Just got it recently turboed, and I showed you guys the Monocraft kit last, so we're gonna be installing it today. This is from big luxury part. So the front bumper is missing. It's over at his place. It came cracked on there, so he's actually fixing it and getting it done for me. Overall, the wrap was pretty good. As you can see, the texture's not perfect, so I'm gonna be as transparent with you guys as possible. It looks pretty good from 10 feet or whatever it may be, but when you get up close, it's not like a finished product because it's fiberglass. It's definitely better than CL Performance for sure. But in terms of you see stuff like, you see this right here where you try to get it sanded down but it just doesn't get perfect, as well as this area right here. This is where knifeless tape, because when you wrap things, you're not supposed to cut directly on it. So this is knifeless tape. However, it did get a little damaged here because the coating that they put on here, this rubber coating, just peels off. It's very frustrating. He was mentioning it to me. So, but we're gonna go ahead and install this real quick. It's looking really good. Get some cinematics, and then we're gonna uninstall the fenders on the car right now. If you guys don't know, on the MR2, all these rear quarter panels on normal cars are welded into the frame, but because it's convertible in the MR2, I know the MR2 and the NSX are like one of the two cars that these rear fenders actually bolt off, so we're replacing the entire thing. Of course, I'll get measurements for you guys to see how much wider this is compared to normal, the normal cars, but I just needed stock MR2 so I can measure that for you guys. So I'll let you guys know, but I'm gonna start removing the panels. Alright, so take out the headlights, two 10 mils, one on the fender, one on there. I took it out just for easier access. If you don't have flares, it'll be easier, but there will be a 10 mil right here attached to the fender bracket. My car has been crashed, so it's kind of vent up here in some other areas, but 10 mil up here. There's gonna be a couple along the door, but I'm gonna first remove these front bolts first. Alright, so I just ripped my fender liner out, but there's the S3 suspension poking out there. We got the fender off. I'll show you guys where the bolts are. So, one 10 mil here, one 10 mil here. Underneath this plastic cowl that sits right here, there's a 10 mil right here. You gotta pull this plastic back on the fender, and there's a 10 mil right here, and then two 10 mils at the bottom. So 6 total bolts around the fender, and you're all good to go. I'm gonna go grab the new fender right now. You guys got the first fender on. These bolts lined up pretty good. The one behind the door here, okay. The one behind the door lined up pretty well. I would put this one in first and keep it loose, and then for this one underneath the cowl, I did have to drill a little bit, maybe because my car was hit up in the front, but that is what I have to do to be completely transparent on there. Overall, this fender it looks kind of caved in right now in terms of how it's sitting right here. That's because the side skirt, which is what mounts at the bottom, is gonna flare this part out a little bit into here. So there, you guys see this gap right here? I was kind of worried about that, but it's because when you open up the door, it needs that clearance. It gets really, really close to there. So that is what it looks like here. I'm gonna do the other side right now. I'm not filming the vest right now. It is like almost 100 degrees here in Washington, which we never get, but here's the film with the headlight. A little bit of a gap towards the bottom. Like I said, each car's gonna be different. It may be because my car is crashed, but it's a pretty good. This hole was way off. The hole for the headlight was way off. I had to completely drill that. It's easy, just one drill, and it's self-tapper screw anyway. Pretty coarse thread, so I just went in. Definitely drilled a hole smaller than this bolt because a self-tapper is designed to have a smaller hole that grabs onto the fiberglass, so make sure that's good. This one also bolts. On the stock fender, there's actually a bolt at the bottom of the headlight here, but on this fender there's not because the bumper bolt's right here. So you can make fender brackets. I know some people do that, but so far so good. The overall gap is really, really good in my opinion, so this is definitely looking good. I noticed that compared to stock car, compared to my fender flares, the gap between the wheel, tire, and this is like 3 fingers now. You gotta really slam your car if you're gonna get this kit, so keep that in mind, or get really big wheels. Definitely 1670s will look goofy. So as you see, if you look on the other side, the car is similar to the stock setup, but it's not even a 1 finger gap. Like I can't even, like it's like a 1 finger maybe if the wheels turns, but on this side it's like a 3 finger gap. On this side it's a 3 finger gap, so make sure that you have something that you can adjust because it'll look super weird. But yeah, I do have a side marker that I got smoked here that I'll install. I'm going to move on to this fender next. First I'm going to turn the wheel straight so you guys can see the width difference. Alright, so as you guys can see, this is with the Sail Performance. I'll put the width of the Sail Performance fenders on the screen here. I remember I measured it compared to stock. I'll put the measurements of the car, the Sail Performance fenders on the screen. I remember I measured it compared to stock when I first installed those. Almost touching this side. So much of a gap. That's how much more aggressive it is. These are probably as wide as the rears, I would say, if you look from the top. Rear Sail Performance fenders, so I'll put it on the screen here. Like I said, I will be measuring the width difference on here to show you guys, but oh my god, that's so much wider. Now before I do the cinematics, like I said, it looks a little goofy right now. Number one, because it's not, the fenders aren't straight down. Right now they're kind of caved in because the side skirt that attaches to the bottom makes it kick out. So I'll do some cinematics after, but this is just to show the width on here. So pretty wide. Nice. Alright guys, so this side came out very good. Did not have to mess with anything. Like I said, that side was hit, so maybe it was because it got hit, which kind of worries me because maybe there's some damage under there. But everything bolted on fine. This bolt, that bolt, everything, very perfect. So did not have to struggle with anything. Both sides are on. I'm gonna install the headlight real quick. But my gosh, this thing's wide.